Hey guys, Jabuzwani here. Still on the topic of purpose and vision, starting at a very important place, which is our minds. As we all know, our minds are a faculty of thought. It's a place where we receive our thoughts, we process our awareness, we process our experiences, and it's a very important place in our construct where our thoughts access our material structure. Now, four important performance elements which make up the function of the mind. Number one being ability. In other words, what is the mind able to do? Like thinking, like remembering, like storing memories, like analyzing, like rationalizing. Number two is capacity. Now, capacity is how much of what the mind is able to do can it do. In other words, the maximum extent to which the mind is able to perform its functions. Like how many thoughts per second can it be able to process? How much can it be able to remember? Number three is competency. Now, competency speaks to how well the mind is able to do what it's able to do. In other words, how well can it remember what is being stored in its memory center? How well can the mind be able to think through a thought from point A to point B? Number four is fitness. Now, fitness basically brings in the intensity. It brings in the agility, it brings in the flexibility, it brings in the energy with which the mind is able to do what it's able to do. And these are the four important components which make up the function of the mind. Now, if we don't exercise the functions of the mind, then the mind's ability to perform its functions is negatively impacted. The mind is not able to process thoughts as fast as it can. The mind is not able to be focused for as long as it needs to. Its ability to concentrate is negatively impacted. And in the end, in those situations where you need your mind's ability to recall, to analyze, to rationalize, it may fail you simply because you're not exercising your mind in its functions as regularly as you need to. It is very vitally important for us then to exercise our minds. So, which then brings us to a very important topic which will come next, which is the issue of mindset. Now, mindsets begin when thoughts begin to get deposited into our minds. The first thought that comes into your mind becomes your seed thought, and the seed thoughts becomes the bearer of your category of thinking. Now, category of thoughts then becomes the mindset. And so it's important then for us to be careful of what we feed or what our seed thoughts are in any category of thought that we find ourselves engaged with. And in other words, it's also very important that we be careful which thoughts we're using to exercise our minds, because these are the thoughts with which our minds are going to be well exercised in. All right. So, and you've heard that before, like we are what we think, right? And so as many thoughts as you have about a particular topic, this makes up a category, this constitutes your mindset. And mindsets becomes those categories of thoughts which then gain access to your material structure, which then begin to influence the actions that you're going to take as a person. So that is very, very important for us. But anyway, for now, we are going to just keep it at that, and we'll continue with the topic of developing mindsets as we link it to our brain, as we link it to our material structure, and as we link it to our day-to-day experiences. Thank you so much for watching.